What is good, you sexy son of a gun? It's Philly. It's Tazzz. It's the Tazzz N Philly show, and we are back with another reaction video. Hey everybody, it's Philly, it's Tazzz. We're back with another reaction video, and tonight, well, this is not a song. This is actually a short horror film. This is going to be hopefully cool. This is a little wrinkle to what we do, but we've been reacting to some short horror films, over the last month or more. So it's been fun to do these. This one is called Splinter. Never seen it. These things are usually in and out very quickly, as this is only an 8-minute thing, so it kind of gets right into it, packs the punch it's looking for, and then it kind of ends just as quick as it started. So let's see what we will get with this. Not sure what Tazzz is looking for, but get that giant head 2 inches from the screen. If that didn't scare the shit out of you, hopefully this movie will. So Tazzz, feel free to... Yeah.
I was looking for the meaning because I saw Splinter and I was like, is it really what it is? And it is. It says a centuries-old vampire contemplates the meaning of immortality in a hospital bed while a small piece of wood embedded in his chest slowly stakes him. Wow. That's a cool approach because, when you think of staking a vampire, it's never done slowly, but a splinter is just a super miniaturized stake to the heart. So I never thought of it in that context to be a slow staking. So this would be interesting. So yeah, haven't seen it yet. This channel, besides supporting musicians, we also support comedians and also short horror recently, because I feel personally these are three things that are important in our lives. It may not be every day, may not be all day, but certain parts of your lives, you love either a good movie or a good song or something to laugh at. We need this in our lives among the chaos that happens in the world and in our day-to-day lives, paying bills, raising kids, what have you. So let's support everyone that we react to, because imagine if it was you. Wouldn't you like some support? So I'll have the information about this in our description. We get all of our short horrors mostly from a channel called Alter, which is on YouTube, and I also have their info in the descriptions because we like to give credit where credit is due. So, but you know what? This aesthetics doesn't seem creepy enough, so let's set the mood. Better. Okay, so with that in mind, let's see what this short horror is all about. We'll commentate more afterwards. Here we go.
His body can detect the piece of wood making its way to his heart.
The last time I saw him, he didn't look a day over 30.
Aging is a side effect.
There's nothing you can do?
We can't afford the risk to our doctors. Any invasive, non-human surgery is prohibited because of the possible infection.
You don't have any of our doctors who can perform the operation?
Technically, we aren't even supposed to handle his physiology. If we move him again, the splinter could go straight to his heart and he could die instantly. It's a miracle he's lasted this long.
Miracle. What happens next?
His skin will start to flake. The monitor will detect a residual heartbeat, then it'll stop completely. He won't be able to move, and eventually it'll all go to ash.
Will there be any blood?
You've never seen this before? There usually isn't any blood unless they're in their prime or they've just eaten. He's using all the blood that we've given him, so most likely be ash. We're doing everything we can to make him comfortable.
Thank you, Doctor.
Stay as long as you want.
This isn't how I pictured dying.
How did you picture it?
I didn't. Could you grab me another pillow from over there? Do you know how old I am?
I know you're at least 102.
516.
How come you never told me? The older ones partially wear it as a badge of honor.
I never thought it was really anything to brag about. It looks like you were the only one of my children who came to visit me.
Sure, it's just because the others couldn't travel as easily. Would have taken most of them more than a sunrise to get here.
In half a millennium, you were the only things that I ever did that was actually worth anything. I used to watch at night as the artists created paintings and sculptures, trying to immortalize themselves in stone and canvas. And I watched just as many of those creations crumble in war after war, while some stayed protected. I don't know why. Certain things were preserved and others disappeared from history forever. The medium changed over and over, but the same goal remained: to live on after death. If there is one thing that I now know, it is that nothing is immortal. And that living on after death isn't all it's cracked up to be.
It has its moments.
Yeah, I remember friends that were centuries old that vanished in an instant. After everything. To go out because of a stupid accident. One would think there'd be more of a story to tell.
I'm so sorry, Philip.
Yes. It's just not the same. Could I? Just a taste.
No, we're not supposed to do that anymore.
Please. As good as the day I made you.
Look at that.
Wow, that was really deep. I love that. I'm showing my cards early because it had some good dialogue. Like they had some really good dialogue that it wasn't just like thrown together like, oh, something else about vampires. This is such a different approach on it. Like the only time I've seen a vampire, on film, like in a hospital, like is like Blade. When I watched Blade and like Wesley Snipes got jacked up and like Whistler was fixing him and curing him, but he was half human, half vampire. You know what I mean? So, but this was interesting. So he had a splinter, which I never thought of before. I mean, it is like a tiniest version of a steak, slowly killing him. But the other interesting thing is that the doctor was talking like they knew of him. It's not like he was a vampire living in mystery. They knew of him. The doctor knew of him. And she even said, like, should we get our own doctors or whatever? And like they're using their human doctors, I guess. And the whole description things of like he should be ashes if he dies. He would only, bleed if he had a lot of blood and stuff. And then it was interesting too, like that's his daughter, because he had said, out of you're the only daughter or kid that came to visit me. But then I noticed she called him like Philip. So I'm like, oh, she didn't call him dad or father. I was wondering what that was all about. And even when he asked for like one last taste, she's like, we don't do that anymore. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. Like, why don't you do it anymore? Like, I was thinking of all this stuff, but it was beautiful in a sense how it ended. Like, she gave him like one last thing that he desired, even though it resulted in his demise. And then there you was, the ashes. So it was kind of bittersweet seeing like the child laying over the ashes as like a farewell. And she didn't cry, but then again, she's a vampire, so maybe she don't have the emotions like that. But yet there was emotion. So I really liked the different approach on it and everything. It was very, very interesting to me, in a good way. What do you say, Philly? Unmute.
Not at all what I was anticipating. I mean, it was out of the ones that we've done, that was certainly like a different approach. Definitely like, yeah, more dialogue-y, not necessarily like horror in the sense that I think of horror, like scary or anything like that. It was just, it was talking a little bit about immortality and I guess even the immortal vampires still have immortality around them. So there's, not everything's forever. I mean, it was an interesting approach. You hear about the different ways that vampires can be taken down, whether it's, what's it, like cloves of garlic and like steaks to the heart and shit like that. So this wasn't exactly a steak, but it was a splinter. It was an interesting, like a slow kind of death. Definitely a different approach, sort of, just not anything I would have really expected. Just different, definitely different, and definitely kind of its own unique spin on things. So, I mean, I give it an A for effort for sure, because when you're talking about short films, it's like you only have so many. This is 8 minutes. You have very little time to kind of get inside of build any kind of storyline and have any kind of emotion to a character, and then get out. So like I thought that he bridged the gap nicely with how he put that all together.
Yeah, very, very well done. Yeah, it wasn't horrific as in what you would think, but since it was about a horror of a vampire in a sense, but it was still a nice approach. So as for short story value, kudos. Definitely give it a movie pass. I loved it. Again, a lot of dialogue, wonderfully written in that short amount of time. Um, but yeah, something different. And then obviously, I'm assuming his heart beating faster, that vibration, perhaps I'm thinking, made that splinter get closer and closer and closer, shifting through, and then it finally reached his heart, and then it just ended it. So, but again, it was bittersweet. I mean, he went peacefully. One of his loved ones was right there. So, I mean, I liked it for what it was. As far as value, still a really good piece. So yeah, I give it a movie pass. You give it a movie pass too?
Yeah, definitely. Thought it was definitely pretty unique to all the ones that we have checked out. So I give it an A for effort for sure.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments if you liked it. What's your take on the story and things of that nature? We want to know your thoughts. We like to hear from you. So thank you. So close us out, best friend.
All right. Well, that is the end of this. We don't necessarily vote on these. We just give it a movie pass. It's a little different from the ones we normally do. So thank you for checking it out. Let us know your thoughts down below, and we'll be back soon with more. So thank you so much for being here. So until next time, I'm Philly. That is Tazzz. It is the Tazzz N Philly show. Have a wonderful night and peace.
And like my hat says, check out our virtual store. I want you to take it easy and keep it breezy.